Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. When I first became politically aware, when I reached the age where I knew what was going on in politics, even though I couldn't vote, there was not a lot of difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. There were conservatives, liberals, and moderates in both parties. But one big difference was the Dixiecrats, the Southern Democrats who were unabashedly racist and segregationist. It took a combination of Northern liberal Democrats and Republicans to pass the civil rights legislation that lost the South to the Democrats to this day. Before that, the South had been solidly Democrat because Abe Lincoln, a Republican, had freed the slaves. So since the Civil War, the South was known as the Solid South. The Republican couldn't get elected there. But after Johnson signed into law the civil rights legislation, the South has been solidly Republican. Now at first the plan, the way Richard Nixon designed it, was to simply not be active in promoting civil rights. They weren't going to support any civil rights legislation, but they weren't going to be actively racist. That didn't come until later. Over time, the Republicans in the South became pretty much the same as the Dixiecrats. And rather than the Republicans having a moderating influence on the Southern Republicans, they began to influence the rest of the party. So that racism is now endemic to being a Republican. This can be seen in Republican efforts to suppress minority votes and limit the political power of minorities, not just in the South, but in every state that they control. And it's also seen in the rising xenophobia that allows them to tolerate the atrocities that are being committed at the border, even though these are crimes against humanity. But it isn't just in matters of race that the Republicans have changed. They are now a fully controlled corporate entity run by the corporations and the wealthy elite. So much so that the huge tax breaks that they gave to the corporations and to the wealthy elite are eventually going to collapse this country unless something is done about them. The nation's level of debt is growing at a level that is unsustainable. This country is doomed to failure, and the collapse and chaos that will take place will make the Great Depression look like a picnic. But it isn't just that. In addition, religious fanatics, science deniers, and conspiracy wingnuts have all found a home in the Republican Party. Under the Trump administration, the government has become actively hostile to the environment. They are not just indifferent, they are actually seeking out ways to increase pollution. And all of this has been facilitated by Fox News. Fox News no longer makes any pretense of being a news organization. They are simply a mouthpiece for Donald Trump. But they have, since their beginning, trafficked in deception, conspiracy theories, outright lies. And so it makes sense that they would back Trump, the biggest liar of them all. When people talk about how divided up this nation is, they don't mention Fox. But Fox is a huge cause of it. And by the way, they're not an American corporation. They are completely owned by foreigners. And as such, they have no real right to be here. Operating in the U.S. is a privilege which they have been abusing for years. And when Trump is finally driven out of office, the next step should be driving Fox right out of the country. Thanks for listening. Well, I want to thank you all for watching my videos. But there are certain changes that Google has made to YouTube, which, since I'm a smaller channel, means that I can't monetize my videos. So I found places where I can. So instead of watching my videos here on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you go either to Patreon or to Top Buzz. They let me monetize videos, and I don't even have to put commercials on. So, if you want to become a patron on Patreon, that's fine. If you don't, you can still watch the videos there. I've just kind of given up on YouTube. YouTube is just a place that I use so that I can put my videos in other places. So, Patreon, Top Buzz, the links are in the description box. Thanks a lot.